Scammers, they're always trying to find new and creative ways to take your money, but you also don't want to forget about some of the oldest tricks in the book that they'll pull out against you as well. To share what you need to look out for, we are joined by two guests from AARP today. Mark Hensley is the Associate State Director of the AARP North Carolina Triad Region. Seth Buffelli is the AARP National Senior Fraud Advisor. So we've got these two experts ready to answer your questions. Here's how you get your questions to those experts. You text the questions 336-379-5775. All your questions are anonymous, but they are answered here live on TV. Okay, so first and foremost, Seth, let's talk about that whole Medicare breach. Something like 612,000 people had their information compromised.
Yeah, these breaches happen. And so, a lot of times we're used to it from a retail organization where it's maybe our credit card number. When it's Medicare, it's a little more alarming just because it's our personal medical information. And that's why it's important. People on Medicare, sometimes you can be the detective, and the most important thing you can do is review that statement that you get every month just to make sure that anything that the government was charged for is something that you actually got. And I think that's the important thing on Medicare fraud, is that sometimes people say, well, that's not money out of my pocketbook, but it really is. We're all taxpayers, we all pay into the program, and so it costs us all in the long run. So really important, especially because open enrollment season is coming too. And so seniors, who might be looking for a new plan, get bombarded with free offers, free devices, free tests, all that sort of stuff. It's really important to know that, never give out that Medicare number unless it's somebody that you're really going to do business with, or a healthcare provider that you work with.
Yeah, when people just unsolicited call you and say, hey, what's your Medicare number? I can check and see if you can get a better rate. You should do what?
Yeah, you should say, you know what, give me your information or give me your website. I'll check it out on my own. And if I'm interested, I'll give you a call back. So it's always important to just get off that phone or get off that email interaction, and do your own verification, figure out if it's something that you want to do, and then make your own decision to give up your information. I think the other thing too is that, who doesn't like free stuff? And I think that's one of the things that these scammers really play on. We have a free device, we have a free test, we have a free DNA, kit that'll tell you whether you're susceptible to cancer or something like that. All we need is your Medicare number. Well, when you give that Medicare number over, it's not free anymore. And so that's one important thing to look out for. That red flag, when they ask for that personal information, that's when you really want to disconnect.
Right. Medicare it's so big, they're not calling people just to help them save money that day. So, okay. Let's talk about text scams, Mark, because there are all kinds of text scams: phone, email, text, you name it.
Yes, so any type of unsolicited pop-up message that comes on your computer, or an email to your private email trying to convince you that you need some type of spyware installed, or they need to put a plug-in on your computer to protect you, you want to delete that and do not take advantage. Do not click, because you're opening a pathway for these criminal scammers to actually come through the internet and access your computer. What are they looking for? Personal information, your banking information, or other helpful information for them to take your hard-earned money.
Yeah, we've got a graphic up right now that shows that there was 18,000 victims last year alone, and they lost $588 million. So it's not like any one of us are the only person who's being targeted. Lots of people are being targeted. They cast a really wide net. They'll pretty much do anything to try and get you to click on something.
Tanya, this is actually, according to the FBI, the most common as well as the oldest scam that's out there, that's been going on for about 15 years.
Okay, and that's what you're talking about, the pop-up that says you need this kind of spyware or whatever?
Yes, so you only want to purchase spyware from trusted companies like Microsoft, Norton, or others that you have a relationship with, rather than someone coming to you unsolicited trying to have access to your computer.
And sometimes a pop-up looks like it's from Norton or something like that, right? But it is not. I mean, that's not how Norton does business.
That's correct. Just like Medicare, Norton is not going to contact you. They expect to be contacted based on their advertising and their legitimate, reaching out to the community about the services and products they offer.
Okay. All right, let's talk about employment scams. There's lots of folks, all ages, who want to do remote work or maybe a side hustle of some sort, and they're looking for something that may be part-time, and employment scams are just rampant.
Yeah, you're right. And, again, this is another scam that's been around for a long time. But this one in particular really just got supercharged during the pandemic. Work from home was really a rare thing before, and you didn't have people out there looking for it. Now, so many people are searching for work for home opportunities, and it really just leads them right into the criminal scammers' sort of hands. A couple things to look out for is first of all, anything that's too good to be true. So a lot of times these offers will happen suddenly. They'll be for a lot of money and probably won't require you to do a lot. So anything that just seems too good to be true is important. Because once you agree to that job, what's one of the first things that happens when you get a new job? You give them your social security number. Maybe you give them your banking information so they can deposit money in your account. So a lot of those things that you give up in a legitimate job are things that somebody impersonating an employer will ask for. The other red flag is a lot of these scams say, okay, we're your first day is on Friday. We need you to go out and purchase a bunch of we're going to send you your computer. You're going to send you all this sort of stuff. You need to pay us in advance for it, and then you'll be reimbursed later on. So advance payment is another red flag. If you get hired to do a job by a legitimate company, you're not going to have to pay for your computer equipment. They're going to get that to you.
Right, and they're not going to send you a check that says you take money out and then you send us whatever's left over. That is not going to happen.
That's another great thing. These fake check schemes are, again, something that, a lot of times people say, who writes checks anymore? A lot of people write checks. A lot of people use checks. And a fake check is sort of a boilerplate tactic of an old school scammer. They'll send it to you. You'll put it in your bank. You'll send them some money back. And then by the time you've sent that money away, then you get the message from the bank saying, oh, by the way, that check was fake.
Right, and then
you're out.
You're on the hook, not the bank. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk about celebrity imposter scams when we come out, and we're taking your questions. All right, you can still text us 336-379-5775.